Readers and viewers of Embassy Direct, once again, in this our series of 9 months around the globe, today featuring a great country of Asia, South Korea. The South Korean Embassy in South Africa, as well as the South Korean Cultural Center, has amicably joined us with other panelists to make this event today as informative as possible. As usual, we have Mr. Otto de Vries conducting our panel, and up to you, my friend.
Thank you, Rodrigo. Much appreciated. Welcome, everybody. We're going to give everyone a few minutes just to enter the room. Our apologies for the short delay on the start of today's session. We had a few technical glitches, and I think with the load shedding that is operating across different parts of the country, it certainly hasn't helped. Hopefully it won't impact too much during the course of the session, and hopefully we'll have as many of you as possible joining to attend. So we're just going to give it another minute or so, and then we're going to kick things off. So we have a fairly big group on our panel today. We will try to make sure that everybody gets an opportunity to contribute and have a say. If I don't get to you, by all means, please feel free to raise your hand and do get involved in the conversation. So good morning again, everybody. And once again, apologies for the slight delay on the start. Welcome to today's session where we are visiting South Korea. For me, that's very exciting, as I had the pleasure of traveling recently to South Korea for a board meeting. My name is Otto de Vries. I am the CEO of ASATA, which is the Association of Southern African Travel Agents, and I'm also the Executive Director of the WTAAA, which is the World Travel Agents Association's Alliance. And it was for that organization that we had the pleasure of traveling to Seoul, where we had a board meeting and got the opportunity to experience an incredible city for the first time. So I was very grateful for that opportunity and looking forward to today's conversation. And hopefully a conversation it will be. As you know, I like to run these roundtables as an informal platform where we hopefully will be able to provide you with some insights, information, ideas, and hopefully also enthusiasm to visit the destination within the near future, but also to support you as you look to develop your products and content and offering for destinations that may differ from what we normally sell to South African travelers. And I can certainly attest to the fact that South Korea is an extremely exciting destination. What I'd like to do, if I may please, is just do a quick swing around the room, starting first, of course, with His Excellency, the Ambassador from South Korea, Mr. Park. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Could we get a little introduction and a welcome from your side, please, Mr. Ambassador?
Well, thank you so much, Program Director. Can you hear me, everybody?
We can, sir.
Yes, yes. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Program Director, for your warm today's virtual gathering. My special thanks go to Ambassador Rodrigo for hosting this meaningful event. Since 2013, as far as I know, Embassy Direct has contributed to making our world more connected and closer through international travel. And I extended my warmest congratulations for its 10th anniversary. I also appreciate the representatives from various organizations devoted to tourism for today's event. I cannot emphasize more about profound impact of tourism. I think beyond its economic contribution, tourism fosters cultural understanding and strengthens diplomatic bonds between our nations. In terms of South Africa and Korea, both countries have the potentials to be a good example of this. People of both countries have much in common, such as passion for exploration, a love for diverse cultures, and craving for good food. On top of that, our younger generation carries an unyielding curiosity to explore the marvels of the outside world. I believe our common thread will be the force to attract each other, which will make us transcend the physical distances between our two countries. The number speaks for themselves when it comes to our potential. The Statistics South Africa announced that from January to August 2023, 5.47 million international travelers visit South Africa, a 63% and more than 6,600 travelers came from South Korea, which is an astonishing growth rate of 130%. The number of South African tourists visiting Korea is also rapidly growing. According to the Korean Tourism Organization statistics, about 12,000 of South African friends have visited South Korea over the past year, nearly triple the number from the previous year. Nevertheless, we can recognize that there is still a lot of rooms for bigger numbers. This will likely happen in the not too distant future because Korea is such an attractive tourist destination, I think. Korea, with its enchanting landscapes, dynamic cities, and the blend of historical and modern attractions, has always captivated the heart of travelers. Koreans also have a social philosophy called Jung, which means with a warmth and hospitalities that value relationships and commitment between people rather than individuals. Koreans are ready to welcome South African tourists with open arms. In recent years, remarkable cultural phenomenon has brought our nations closer, which are the global surge of K-pop. This vibrant music genre, accompanied by visually captivating music videos and Korean drama series, has caught millions and become a catalyst for cultural exchange and mutual understanding. Since, South African youth, inspired by the world of Korean popular culture, have expressed a keen interest in delving deeper into Korean history and tradition. While in responding to these growing aspirations toward Korea, we collaborated with a local author to publish a Korean edition of Know Your Nation, which is now I'm holding on my book on my hand in the screen. You can see the book recently published, Know Your Nation, Korea. And this is an effort, obviously, to share these diverse and beautiful aspects of Korea with our South African friends. This book will help South African friends easily understand the Korean sentiments and narratives behind popular K-pop and K-dramas. Beyond the book launch, Korean Embassy has informed the good news of the publication with the primary and secondary schools across South Africa, and now is distributing free copies of the book to schools which wish to utilize it for after-school activities for their students. I believe the young students exposed to this book will become future international travelers, bringing South Africa and South Korea closer together. In closing, I would like to express my gratitude once again for inviting me and my country to this occasion today. I truly expect the enlightening discussions of international travel to Korea that await us. Thank you so much for your attention. Back to you, Program Director.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for that lovely introduction. And I think it certainly helps to set the scene. Not wanting to spend a long time, and as indicated, we are quite a big panel. If I could please ask everybody to just do a short introduction for me. A short introduction for me, just your name, who you represent, and we will then begin the conversation shortly afterwards. So I'm going to start off with, let's have a look here. I've got a list going. So Mr. Jin, can you just please introduce yourself there? Mr. Jin?
You mean me? Okay. Hi, my name is Jin. And then my company is the Co-op Business Center Group. So under Co-op, there is the 4 companies. So 2 of these is the energy industry, which is one is Namibia, another one is South Africa. The other one is the golf product. And then most I have the ambitions and then local company is that called Africa Tour Story, which is a tour operator. So we are doing inbound. So before COVID, we got between 3,500 to 4,000 tourists from the Korea. But now we also try to get the other destination. I mean, like another country like Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Thailand. That is our target at the moment.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that.
Can you hear me?
Thank you so much, Mr. Jin. My good friend.
Okay, thank you.
Judy?
Good morning, everybody,
Right,
and
we'll
wherever
we'll
you
go
are
back
in
to
the
Judy
world.
in a moment then. Oh, there we go.
Sure. Oh, good
No,
morning,
there we go.
everybody. Shall I proceed?
You can, please. Thanks, Judy. We've got a
So
big delay here, that's why.
Wherever you are in the world, Johannesburg is a splendid day today. It is summer. Hello, Ambassador. I am an executive director at Tourvest, an integrated tourism company. We play across 6 verticals in the tourism value chain, from destination management to destination retail to travel services, which is key for this discussion, for activities or adventure and accommodation, and we have a financial services arm. And at the same time, I wear the hat as the chair of Gauteng Tourism Authority. I cannot wait for the discussion to get underway, because I am crazy about Korea, having visited more than 12 times. The best kept secret that South Africans have to go and experience. Thank you for the opportunity, and thank you, Ambassador, for recommending me to join.
Thank you so much, Judy. Really appreciate that. Thank you. And it's nice to see you. It's been far too long. Mr. Wang, if I could ask you to just do a short introduction, please, sir.
Well, I'm back and forth, but this moment, I don't want to go back again. Anyhow, it's been this business is done 48 years, and then is during the pandemic is everybody cannot traveling for the other overseas country, so they stay home. They watching the TV, and then their TV, and then that time they get in the Korean drama. In this moment is elderly lady. It's like a 35 to 60, or the that lady is that drama fan. So they looking for something Korean drama is something else. And then beside that is K-pop, a young lady. So we have so many ladies coming to our country. And beside that is I've been in this business around 48 years. And we do 2019, we handle for 86 different countries, and plus is around 16,000 people we handle. And this year, around 80%, comes up, toward the 2019 people. So that kind of thing is done this moment. And decided that we will sell to the Japan, Taiwan, and Korea. So in most of the country, they asking to me is Korea, Japan, Korea, Japan, Japan, Korea. So that kind of package they asking too many. So we do handle for that one for starting from FIT to group. So whatever you have something that kind of question, and let us know. We cover up in Northern East Asia. So anything you have a problem, let us know. And then maybe I might be help you for whatever you need. Got it? Thanks.
Thank you so much, Mr. Wang. Thank you for that introduction. I have an excited dog here, so I'm going to quickly switch over to Geraldine. Geraldine, if you could briefly introduce yourself.
Thank you, Otto. Good morning, everyone. My name is Geraldine Treasurer. I'm an account manager for Qatar Airways based in Johannesburg, South Africa. My role on the panel today is to explain the air accessibility aspect to South Korea and Seoul specifically, which is available on the Qatar Airways network. I'm also a huge K-pop fan and K-drama fan, so I'm excited to learn more about this destination. Thank you.
Lovely, Geraldine. Thank you so much. And then last but not least, I'm going to hand you over to Ruby, who represents the Korean Tourism Organization. If you could just introduce yourself briefly, and then we'll pop on the video.
Thank you, Otto. Good morning from wintry London. My name is Ruby James. I'm the marketing manager at the Korea Tourism Organisation London office. We also cover South Africa, and I was lucky enough to visit last year for WTM Africa with Mr. Huang to also meet Judy and had a wonderful experience. So I hope that we can help facilitate more tourism and cultural exchange between the two countries. So thank you very much to the Korean Embassy and to Embassy Direct for inviting me to join the webinar this morning.
Lovely, Ruby. Thank you so much. So you will forgive me as I quickly try and activate our video. Okay.
Sorry, Otto, there's no sound on my side. I don't know if others are experiencing a similar challenge.
Right, that brought back lots of very, very fond memories. I hope you all enjoyed that. So again, welcome everybody, and let's get the conversation going. I think if I may, I'm going to start off with Geraldine, and also I'm going to reach out to our colleagues at the embassy, because I think what's important for us to understand is, how do we get to Korea? You know, how difficult is it? What can we expect as travelers in terms of having market access? Do we need visas? and how complicated is that? So Geraldine, if I could ask you to possibly just give us a bit of insights in terms of market accessibility from an air point of view.
Okay, thank you, Otto. So from South Africa, Qatar Airways obviously operates out of Johannesburg, Cape Town, and Durban via Doha Hamad International Airport. We've got a direct connection to Seoul in South Korea. There's a daily flight out of Doha. So from an accessibility point of view from South Africa, if you are connecting via Doha Hamad, you're looking at a 2-hour, 55-minute connection, which is really a short connection time. 8 hours flight from Johannesburg to Doha, and then about 8 hours, 30 minutes to Seoul. So really a nice connection out of South Africa. Obviously, we do offer economy and business class cabins from South Africa, either on our Boeing 787 or our A350 aircraft from South Africa, and then also the first class cabins from Doha Hamad International Airport onto Seoul. So from traveling from South Africa, we really just make it easy. There's programs that we offer all travelers, traveling from South Africa. So for individual travelers, we encourage them to sign up to our Premier Class, Premier Privilege Club program, which allows them to accumulate miles every time they fly. They can use it to upgrade the flights. They can use it for extra baggage. We've got a student program, which is offered to all students and college full-time students based in South Africa from the age of 18 to 30 years old. They can sign up to that program. So, and then we also have a company program, which we, provide to corporate travelers traveling to, Seoul or anywhere else in the world to sign up to. So for travel agents, all of these programs and 24-hour support is available via our trade portal, which is available to all travel agents. And just throughout COVID, just to mention that Qatar was one of the only global airlines that was consistently flying throughout COVID crisis and dependably taking people on their journeys while adhering to the safety standards. We haven't dropped those standards at all, and we still adhere to all of them. So please, if anyone needs more information on the flight timetables and schedules, it is available on our website as well, qatarairways.com. Thank you.
Lovely, Geraldine. Thank you so much. And I've noted that His Excellency the Ambassador has stepped away, but he's been replaced by somebody with a lovely smile. Could you introduce yourself, and maybe we could just have a little chat about market access from a visa point of view? Sorry, you're muted there.
Hi everyone, my name is Jiwon, First Secretary in the Korean Embassy, and I'm in charge of public diplomacy, of course, in Korea, tourism and political affairs. The Ambassador Park want me to deliver his message due to busy schedule. He has to leave for now, but I'm really glad to attend this meeting. And as I told you, I just arrived in South Africa like 3 weeks ago. And I found that it's really beautiful and wonderful country, especially people and food and weather, of course. So I will do my best within my knowledge and the information that I have right now. But if there is something that I have to follow up, I will get back to you individually for the visa information and everything.
Lovely, thank you so much. And could you just share with our audience today, for those that are looking to travel to Korea, do South Africans need a visa?
Yes, for that part, I only have very general information, but I think I need to get back to you with some details. So as far as I know, of course, we need visa, but we have the ETA system. So it provides, I know like 30 days, but I have to get back to you with the specific and accurate information. 3 days free of visa to visit Korea for tourism. But let me check and get back to you.
That's absolutely fine. Ruby?
Yeah, so just to jump in there, as far as I'm aware, as Juwon mentioned, South Africans can visit Korea without a visa for up to 30 days as a tourist, and they just need to the KETA. It's very easy to apply for online. It costs about 10,000 Korean won, which I believe is about 145 rand, about 10 USD. So very quick and easy.
All right, fantastic.
Thank you.
That's really useful. Thank you so much for that, Ruby. Judy, your experience in terms of and having, you're clearly a veteran in traveling to Korea. Your experience from an accessibility point of view, is that pretty much aligned in terms of what you've seen?
My experience with regard to accessibility, I have to say I'll rate it 10 out of 10. It is seamless. From the time you have a desire to travel to Korea, the process is smooth and seamless. And once you arrive in Korea, you have even greater accessibility. Obviously, if you're an adventure junkie, you can walk around. Korea is probably, for me, one of the safest countries in the world. And that's a very important consideration for women. South African women like to travel as groups. And so high on their list will be the safety issue. Not only from an access safety point of view, the people are welcoming. They are interested, curious, and intrigued by people who don't look like Southeast Asians. So again, the welcoming from an accessibility people to people, 10 out of 10. I could give it 40 out of 10. And then, of course, the public transport is just phenomenal. And whether you want to get from east to north, from north to south, east to west, the trains are a dream. So for a South African who experiences the Gau train, the Korean train experience kind of takes you to another level. So just from an accessibility logistics point of view, no problem. If you go to Busan, for South Africans who come from water regions like KZN, Eastern Cape, Cape Town. Once you get to Busan and Jeju Island, which is probably one of the better secrets. I've never been to Jeju Island because of time, but people say it is just one of you have to do it from a bucket list point of view. So anything on the water, great accessibility. The systems work from a purchasing of a ticket point of view, from you'd redeem your tickets, everything is seamless. Touch screen, technology friendly, but a technology friendliness that is for a dummy 101, no problem. And if you just look lost for a moment, there will be someone who will assist you to find your way. From a DMC point of view, the destination marketing company is superb. All the destination marketing companies that I've engaged with from a tourist point of view, again, matching DMC to DMC for the travel agents online, you couldn't want and desire a better cooperation and collaboration. Do you want me to continue? Because there is just a K-romance. And I just want to say that from Seoul to Soweto, the K-romance has overtaken. And I think the opportunity really is, how do you do the conversion now? There is a great love affair between South Africa and Korea, whether it's K-romance, K-drama. They are loving the Attorney Woo series. So there is awareness. And now we need to convert the awareness into sales. And that is the next big challenge. And I think from a Qatar point of view, we need travel packages. From a Korean Tourism Authority, we need campaigns, and then you will not be able to cope with the deluge and the South Africans will go. But it is turning that interest and that love affair from, even whether it's, I call it gastronomy, not gastronomy. So if you begin to look at your niche markets, I don't think South Korea is a mass tourism point of view. You will get your masses from the niches. And so whether it's popular culture, whether it's history, whether it's food, and of course, South Africans love to party and Koreans love to party. So your nightlife, you know, from sunset to sunrise, South Africans will go crazy. And because it's safe, you can leave your nightlife establishments at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, and walk to your hotel. And I think that is something that can be exploited. I think I could go on for 10 hours, Otto, so let me stop there.
Oh, Judy, thank you so much for your enthusiasm. And I think, you know, that's exactly what we like to hear. And it's so good to hear it from a South African who has had the opportunity to travel extensively and also had an opportunity to enjoy everything that Korea has to offer. So thank you for that really exciting enthusiasm. I love it. I suppose, you know, whilst we're on that subject, Ruby, is there anything else that you would like to add? I mean, obviously, we want to get a sense of, you know, why would people travel to Korea? And we've heard you know, a number of really strong motivations. But from your position as part of the Korean Tourism Organization, your mandate is obviously to present the destination to potential travelers, and to Judy's point, to try and get that conversion going. So if I was sitting as a travel agent in front of a customer and they said to me, we've heard so much about this, it's the K-pop, it's the K-drama, and the safety and the good infrastructure and the easy accessibility. But why would I go? Why would I go and visit Korea? What is there for me to do and to see?
Absolutely. I mean, I'd love to just hand over to Judy and let her talk for 10 hours because I think she can sell it better than anyone. But just to kind of summarize, I guess, and emphasize what she's saying, I just got back from Korea 2 days ago, so I'm feeling particularly passionate. I had a great trip this time around. And yeah, Korea is an incredibly unique country with so much to offer. I mean, it's, you know, to start with, a very rich tradition and history, which is very carefully preserved throughout the country. And then that juxtaposition with the modernity, contemporary pop culture, obviously the Korean wave, from Korean dramas, Korean film to K-pop, and even, you know, video games, esports. Recently, they held the League of Legends World Championships in Seoul, and people flocked into Korea from all around the world for that. So, like Judy mentioned, so many different niche markets becoming interested in Korea. And that contrast between the traditional and the modern. The food can't be emphasized enough. For a relatively small country, Korea has a very varied cuisine, very health conscious, very, very delicious, from Korean barbecue and Korean fried chicken to Buddhist temple food, which is completely vegan and uses sustainable ingredients from the mountains. There's something for everyone to try. Speaking of mountains, I mean, the incredible hiking routes and national parks across Korea. It's about 70% mountainous terrain in Korea. So there's some stunning landscapes and views to be seen. Judy mentioned Jeju Island, which I absolutely agree is a must visit. The whole island is a UNESCO Natural Heritage Site. It's a volcanic island with some incredible rock formations, and a lovely place to go walking or cycling, or just to relax by the beach. And then, yeah, I guess the final point would be how easy it is to travel around. As Judy said, you know, with the high-speed train system, you can get from Seoul, one end of the country, right down to Busan in the south in 2.5 hours by train. Everything's very easy to book online or in person. All the signage and announcements are in English as well, and various other languages. So it's really set up to make it as easy and accessible as possible for tourists.
Thanks, Ruby. Mr. Jin, if I could maybe ask you to come in at this point, because you obviously have an interesting hat that you wear with regards to your business interests, and maybe you could just share with our audience a little bit about how you find the business interactions and the functionality that operates between the South African market and your home base, Korea, where I believe you are joining us from today. So could you just give us a little bit of an insight from a business perspective, how that relationship works between the two countries?
For the first, South Korea have the high technical side, and then in Africa there is some struggling with the energy side and also agriculture. So and then in terms of the quality, it's very high. So and then also to compare with the European product, 30 to 20% lower. So many African now look at the Korean product. So there is some, I think, need to do the more collaboration between South Africa and then South Korea, with the business to business and then government to government. That is important. And then to addition for the what is attractive in Korea for not only South African, for the worldwide, there is, look at the cities. No, most of the cities only have the high sky building, but in Korea is mixed, like a high sky building, and also have the palace in the middle. So it's a mixture. So the people have the mixed like what I can say culture. So in the high building, they can do the shopping, enjoy the food, and then in the afternoon they can go to the palace, and then there is some performance also too. So they can go there. And also, the other countries like a flea market, they are bargaining. The price is always negotiated. But in Korea, in Seoul, is a fixed price. So those kind of also good. And then food also, all the traditional restaurant, there are lots of the opportunity to have the experience, even in Seoul, 3 or 4 days, enjoyable.
Yeah, no, it sounds, and I can certainly attest to that. I must admit, I've never been much of a haggler, so I found being able to visit the markets and knowing exactly what you're going to pay as rather a comforting approach. And I think that for many South Africans, it's also quite a difficult, from a cultural point of view, this idea of haggling over price is not something that we're generally very comfortable with either. So that's good to know. Thank you for that. And I don't think we should underestimate, the number of brands that should be familiar to South Africans. We think of Samsung, we look at the car companies like Kia, but other names that are very, very sort of familiar for South Africans, Mr. Jin?
You mean the other brand that you're talking about?
Yeah. Other Korean
actually,
brands that South Africa are probably very familiar with, but no, it's from
Okay,
Korea.
so actually, I'm the chairman of the Korean corporate chambers in South Africa. So there is 22 companies in Johannesburg. So the familiar one, actually LG, Samsung, Hyundai, but also which is called Hyosung. The one of the biggest companies, always at the end of the name is a Sung, like a Samsung, Hyosung. And then LG also previously, which is called Kumsung. Those are big company. So in terms of the energy, we are very activate in South Africa at the moment. So we supply the transformer, and then 2 weeks ago, the Hyosung give over to the ESCOM regarding over the best ESS energy storage system. And then also the company called KPS, they also doing the maintenance of power plant at the moment. So to reduce load shedding. And also Kotra, which is the support for the middle size of the companies, even South Africa or South Korea to match it. So even here, anyone who want to import from the Korea product, then you can visit the Kotra, then they can help. Can you hear me?
Thank you for that. I'm going to switch over. Yes, sorry, we lost you there for a second. I wasn't sure if you were. Okay, fantastic. Thank you for that additional information and insights. Mr. Wang, just playing on what Mr. Jin was saying with regards to, having the opportunity to have different experiences for people that visit Korea. And we know, obviously, that there are a lot of historic, and for me, I was absolutely blown away when I started to learn a little bit more about how old the Korean peninsula is, and for how many hundreds, if not, no, I mean thousands of years. That peninsula has had different dynasties, and the History Museum, when we visited it, I was absolutely blown away. But also, you've got this young, modern, dynamic country that's and that's clearly reflected under the K-pop brands and obviously the dramas, and it's very youthful. And I remember traveling through Seoul and thinking about how many young people are part of your makeup, as it were. But Mr. Wang, just based on that knowledge of history and youth, what are some of the experiences that you think, as a tour operator from your side, that South Africans should be thinking about participating or doing or seeing when they come and visit your amazing country?
Okay. Number one, maybe I can, recommendation is probably old and new, and then high technology thing. It's our history is around 5,000 years ago we started, but another way is in 1945, after Second World War, and then South is occupied U.S. and North occupied Russia. So that kind of happened that happened. So after that, 1950 is when Korean War started up. Everything smashed. So it's nothing left. Even though my younger way it is the hard way. So anyhow, after that we have a one by one we build up, and then we have a manufacturer on high technology thing. It's up today. It's the 2023. G8. So you get this moment is the G8 means that we are the G7 country, and then added one. So that much we get the high technology thing comes out. And I recommendation to the people, they can see that it's old and new mixed up in Seoul. So you can see that you can feel it, right away. And then most of the easier way, the public transportation thing is the train, buses, taxis, everything is, right thing. But one thing I recommendation is temple stay. It's a temple is we are from Buddhism comes up in our country. It's almost 3,000 years ago. But after that, so we have is the Buddhism country is more vegetarian country. But after Mongolian comes up, our country, we started up to eat meat that way. So it is story is changing, but this moment, so we eat the meat, we eat the vegetarian, we got all mixed up together. So it's temple stay mean is that you should go for the 2,000 years ago, what kind of thing they have, accepted from Buddhism side. But actually, Buddhism started up in India, India moving up to China, China to moving up to Korea, Korea to Japan. That kind of cases that they are, come up to this way. But in this moment, it's China is around 80% is Buddhism. Korea is 60% is Buddhism, but 40% Catholic and Christian, that kind of thing in our country. Religion is more free the religion. So that is the way it is. You should know, and that kind of temple stay, and then you're gonna see the, maybe around the 60% of our Korean life, you can see it, and how Big Bao, that kind of thing started up. Why we did it that way? Why we did it this way? this kind of thing, a lot of different things. You got to start it up from Buddhism that way. But India to China to Korea, it's Buddhism, a lot of change. As Korean style the Buddhism and Chinese style the Buddhism. India is now it's a small, most of the Hindu. So that kind of thing. In Japan, around 80% of the population is Buddhism. So that kind of thing you can figure out, itself. So that kind of thing you should know our side of the new one, old one, mix up the house, mix up. It is pretty good mix.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Wang. And it just sort of reminded me of, that what an incredible experience it was to actually move through the city and to recognize that there is this amazing history, but there's also so much new and so much modern, and how it lives and sits next to each other side by side very, very comfortably. I thought the other thing that was very interesting for me was that people are very affectionate with each other. If they're in a relationship, we see couples holding hands, and it's clearly a very affectionate country that has no problem in sharing exactly those lovely moments together. But on the subject of experiences, and for me, and I don't want to go away from the food thing just yet, if we may, because I think you're absolutely spot on in saying that you can have anything from vegetarian to meat. I'm a huge fan of a good Korean barbecue. I think that it's just the most incredible food. And we're very grateful and very lucky. In fact, I have a small little Korean barbecue just down the road from me, which I tend to visit whenever I can. But I love that experience of sitting around and being able to cook for yourself with each other. And I think for South Africans, that's something that they can really relate to as well. But I'm going to ask whoever is in the mood to start telling me a little bit about food experiences. Judy, I'm going to start with you. Tell me a little bit about some of the most incredible things that you've had an opportunity to enjoy from a cuisine point of view when you visited Korea.
So, I talked about gastronomy, which is a global yardstick when it comes to Michelin food. So if you go high end, at the moment, Seoul has more Michelin-starred restaurants than any other country outside of the world. So for a foodie and a blogger, that is a huge selling point. So when it comes to women and food, the content of Korean food it's a very low fat content. So delicious, but calorifically and health-wise, it's perfect. So you can sell it. And I'm harping on women because women make the travel decisions in families and the travel decisions in relationships. The woman does the decision, the woman does the booking. So once you have the buy-in of the female, then the men will follow, or the families will follow. So the other thing that I love about being in Korea, I'm a coffee fundi, and I travel the world, and the first thing I will do is sample coffee. Now, a coffee drinking experience in Korea is second to none. The bags are open. You smell the coffee. There are queues of people waiting to experience the coffee. So coffee, top of the list. Then again, when I talked about niche, because I think the opportunity for Korea is, how do you want to sell Korea? Your people who they're looking for these authentic, immersive experience. So they lead the trend when it comes to travel. So you captivate that person. So you can go and you can do the cooking experience, because the traveler today wants something that is different. I don't just want to sit and eat in the restaurant. So Korea has many opportunities for you to go into a cooking school in the mountains, in the villages, and then you prepare the food and you eat the food. From a confectionery point of view, the attention to detail, everyone who wants to become a pastry chef, you have to go to Korea, because even the making of a flour on a piece of confectionery. You know, I've just come back from Paris. I've been there for a month. And I was telling everyone, Paris is a little bit overrated when it comes to food, because if you want food, you have to go to Korea. Now, when it comes to the alcohol, when you're looking at a black market, the target market of black South Africans, we like our, help me here, Motlatsa, I know you don't drink, but our beer, sorghum. And Korea has a similar drink. So you also have this, we travel, we want unique experiences, but we want our experience to resonate with who we are and where we come from an identity point of view. So even looking at identity and how language plays a role in defining your identity, Korea understands that. Their history is such, they're proud of their identity. So when South Africans go to Korea, you have this affirmation and validation from an identity point of view. And one thing about the history and the culture is it's a hip place. It is a tech-savvy place, but they honor their distinctive past. And I think for me, that is what makes Korea, and I don't want to bring in Japan because Korea has a particular history with Japan, but where Korea gets it right, the subtlety of weaving in the past with the future. It is the past, I live here, and the future. And how do you future-proof all of that? So for me, that is what's interesting. And then in Paris, I learned, they talk about bistronomy. It's not just gastronomy. It is the little corner place. And Korea has a unique opportunity to put that K in front and call it pastronomy. Because, once you've been out after a long day, doing your culture and your history and your tech places, you want to sit in a little corner. We call them cafes. They have perfected kistronomy, and I think this is another opportunity for Korea to take that 40, 50 seater in terms of the bistro culture and call it the kistro culture. So, I mean, for me, the food, the vegetables, it's unbelievable. And we say when it comes to food, there are very few things that you can't find everywhere in the world, because everything is everywhere in the world. An apple is an apple, an orange is an orange, a cabbage is a cabbage, but it is the authenticity of the ingredient and the quality of the ingredient that defines your cuisine experience. And Korea gets that in terms of the way in which they prepare the food, the authenticity with which they come to the table. And if you understand your culture, then your cuisine is celebrated. And that's what you get right. And Korea gets it right. So even something like kimchi, we a lot of that kind of stuff in South Africa. We don't call it kimchi. So when a South African is sitting, or South Africans are sitting, unconsciously, they are feeling something around what I'm experiencing here is connecting me to my past. And I don't have to be aware of it and articulate my past, but I feel it. And once you feel it, that is what you take home with you and you share it with everyone. And I always say this, that the Korean is the African to Southeast Asia as what South Africa is to Africa. So you've got these two groups of people who are curious, they are loving, they are welcoming, and they share. And so that is what makes it unique. And so whether it's art and architecture, fashion and food, literature, etc., you can sell it from a travel agent point of view. You can package it. And I think it is how you want to package it. And this is where partnership with Qatar becomes critical. Because if you look at what Turkey has done and how everybody's crazy about Turkey, it is because of the packages. So it is your flight, your package, everything. And then Ruby and her colleagues, because they're running the South African market from London, you then have to start doing your campaigns. Everybody loves that soccer player. South Africans are crazy about soccer and rugby, but more crazy about soccer. And how do you exploit these legends that you have now, the South Korean soccer legends, and they tower above the other players in England. And so you package that. If there's a big game in Korea, create that. And then you see, I can go on and on, Otto. But the opportunity is in the incentive space. How do you flog Korea as an incentive to the corporates? Everybody's looking for something different. They've done Dubai, they've done London. Where else do you take? So if you take your incentives and your business tourism, your leisure, there you have, I mean, you cannot compare the Korean economy today with any other economy. So you've got a unique opportunity there. Every prominent brand, famous brand is Korean. So you can take people into the factories. When it comes to startups and venture capital, we are crazy about SMMEs in this country. So you take SMMEs, you know, there's only so much you can stuff into a suitcase once you've gone to Guangdong and wherever else in China. But when you take your SMMEs to Korea, it is around the switching on of the brain of how you can do business and how you take your small business and you scale it. So for me, the opportunities in terms of market segmentation is when you do your niche tourism, there are enough people that do, you know, people now go on wellness trips. They go on food trips, they go on drinking trips, they go on sporting trips. Then your incentives, then your business. But the other unbelievable opportunity in Korea is K-beauty. South African women are obsessed with the preservation of skin. And the darker you are, the lighter you want to be. Korean women at the same time also, the lighter you are, the lighter you want to be. So the skincare products at unbelievable prices are something, if you just did beauty trips, oh, let's talk about, I'm a candidate for plastic surgery. I know my 27-year-old tour guide said to me, oh, you don't have any Botox? You don't do any Botox? You don't do anything? I said, no. She says, let's go upstairs. You can quickly go and do a filler. Like going to have a cappuccino, you can go and do a filler. I said, no, I'm not into all of that. I'm too scared. But South Africans are going to Turkey for beauty. They're going to India for beauty. Korea can take them to Korea for beauty, because anything that gives you a shade, many shades lighter, that is what they want. And Korea can offer at unbelievable prices. Why would you want to buy Le Mer and Le Prairie when you could buy Korean products? And if you go into a Korean beauty store, maybe the men can't relate to it, but maybe you can. You will feel like you're in a candy store, but you're not going to put on weight. And the products and the way they sell the product to you, and everything is with the gift. You buy something, you get a little gift. So of course we all like gifts and presents. So you are sold. So you buy more because you want more gifts. A mouthful.
Stunning, Judy. And I'm very cognizant of our time. So I'm based on that very sort of premise that Judy's presented there for us. If I was to ask around the room, what would be the one thing that somebody should do if they visit Korea, the one thing that they cannot miss out on? And I think, you know, we're talking about the experience, the experiential, and they wouldn't want to travel to Korea and go home not having done this. Ruby, I'm going to put you on the spot and ask you first. And by the way, it could be from a personal experience.
Yeah, it's very hard to choose just one thing. I think that the food experiences, I think, has to be number one. I mean, Judy mentioned kimchi, and I think there's one experience that really sums up the kind of the communal, immersive aspects of Korean food culture, which is the practice of kimjang, which is usually happens around November, and it's the practice of communities and families coming together to make kimchi to prepare for the winter. So that kimchi is then stored and lasts throughout the winter, so people can eat it in the cold months. And there are cooking classes and various food experience centers in Korea where you can go along and experience that. And yeah, I think that's really special.
All right, brilliant, thanks. Mr. Jin, I'm going to ask you, yes, and how's that for perfect timing? What is the one experience?
Additionally, I might be talked about, coffee shop. And then she mentioned about the chicken and beer. And then how the cosmetics thing is the three things I explained to you. And I got more things, history thing and then the culture thing, but only three. Now, number one is in coffee. My office is in downtown Seoul in Korea. And then my office around, we have coffee shop, more than 150 coffee shop there. It's incredible. So in the morning, early morning, and everybody getting to work around 8:30 to 9 o'clock, and everybody hold it, coffee. What kind of coffee? Iced coffee, not hot coffee. Iced coffee. Young people, they love iced coffee. This is like a more, sensational in Korea. So that means it's around 150 coffee shop. It only is around 50 meter, 50 meter, 50 meter. 150 coffee shop, incredible. This is the one around, started up 20 years ago. Before, no. Coffee shop, one or two. But now, 150. Everybody have a different coffee. Ethiopian coffee, Brazil coffee, Cuba coffee, Jamaica coffee, everything. Now, I don't know. That is the one, coffee.
Yeah,
Number two, chimek means chicken and beer. Chicken and beer.
Okay, so I want to add it to advise to all the tour operator.
Well, in this is the beer and chicken. You drinking two beer. This is tap is you drinking 500 cc and one shot, and then you need it around 1/3 of chicken you need, and then one shot, and then chicken. This is the popular in Korea. No matter what, and beer, it's same as you go to London, and then they have a pub store is every corner. In Korea, every corner plus one or two more for drinking beer places. But they don't sell any hard liquor, just the beer and chicken. That's it. So everybody, chicken and beer, chicken and beer. This is the two things, coffee and chicken and beer. Now, one more thing. Do you think how old am I?
I'm not going to answer that question.
Also,
I'm going to get into trouble.
Well, one of the things is cosmetic thing. It started up is how the popular in Korea. And like me, I don't do any cosmetic, but at least it's a little bit, it's the aftershave, cream. But I'm 75. And then looks like they're young. Why? Water is good, or maybe towel is good. No, nothing. But naturally, in our country, it's naturally everything clean. And clean the street, and you can go out, midnight, a lady going out, is outside, it's no problem for our country. So that kind of thing is a lot of things, safety, clean, and safety and clean. And even air is clean too. So that kind of thing you should know. So I just give you 3 answers, but additionally, we have is kshuttle.com. So whatever you need, our company, you need something more information, and you can check it out, www.kshuttle.com. So that kind of thing, I remind you about our company. So
thank you so much, Mr. Wang. Thank you. Mr. Jin, from your side, the absolute must do?
Yes.
Oh, have we lost him? I think we might have. Well, hopefully he'll be able to rejoin us. So I'm going to look to Juan from your side, and you've only been in South Africa now for 3 weeks. But we'd love to get and certainly as someone who's just arrived, and you are trying to tell South Africans, you know, if you visit Korea, this is the one thing you must do. What would that be?
Okay. Hello. Yes. As economically, I just want to give advice for the first. You know, the product, all product is good. You know, like clean, whatever. But the economical side, what is important? Price. Price is the most important, especially for South Africa. You know, so then if we are taking the South African to the Korea, like above poster, then price is not competitive against the other destination.
Right.
You know, so what I have suggestion is that, you know, in Korea, there is a price category is from the cheap to high. And then as Judy told us, safety is good. Then we can using some good reasonable of the accommodation, and then also the price of the food. Some of the restaurant is less than 100 rand, but it is a variety of the side dish, things like that. So what I'm suggesting, the first one, you know, to expand and then to advertising, maybe price reduce. With this mountain, you can go to the Korea. That is the first thing I think important. The second one, you know, I'm not sure the other countries, but some of countries go to the Paris and Italy. Of course, to have experience, but also for shopping. Am I right? To buy some high brand of the product. Hello?
Yeah, no, we've got you.
Hello? Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Hello? Okay, so, you know, it's like, you know, these days in South Africa, actually in the world, everybody said K-drama, K-food, K-cosmetic, you know, those kind of things. As an advertisement from in South Africa, we can emphasize, you know, cosmetic is very good price in terms of quality. Clothes also very good quality with a good price. You know, in the calculation with the flight and then buying those things equal. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
You know, when
yes.
I say the flight is 10,000 rand, and then cosmetic, clothes, those kind of buy. Because in South Africa, it is so expensive of the Korean product. But when they come, they can buy the same brand, maybe 3 times less, 4 times less.
Yeah.
And then which is a saving, is equal with the flight ticket price.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, those kind of things. Those
Yeah,
kind
so
of
shopping-
things like branding and then also marketing.
So shopping trips is definitely a plus. And thank you so much there, Mr. Jim.
Hello?
So I'm going to leave the final word to
Yes.
I'm going to leave the final word to Juwan, if I may. And as we touched on before, Mr. Jin managed to rejoin us.
Sorry, Otto, just before the final word, I think there are 2 places I would like to flag, and that is Hanok Village. That is the old part of the town where you can go and see the traditional homes. So anyone going to Korea, Seoul, has to go to Hanok Village. And the second one is Gamcheon Culture Village, because it is absolutely spectacular. So you go from the old to the very picturesque. Those are two must-dos. Sorry for interjecting.
No, I totally agree with you. I was fortunate enough to experience those as well. So you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. Thanks for that added in, Judy. So Juwon, last word to you. What would be the one thing that you would suggest that a South African visiting Korea for the first time should do or experience?
Yes, it's really hard question. But if I have to say only one thing, before visiting South Korea, Googled some clubs or community that you are interested in. For example, K-pop, K-drama, anything, cosmetics. So then you can find really good friends there online. Then you can contact with them before you visit Korea. Then your experience in Korea is going to be astonishing. It's because we South Korean people really open to foreigners, and we are, the English speaker is really popular in Korea. So if you make a friend, the real friends, it's gonna be extend your experience in Korea. So that's my advice.
Wonderful. I think that's actually an excellent idea, and I think that's part of this concept of not just experiences but experiential, which is about engaging with local people and interacting. And if there are common interests, what a wonderful way to be able to start a new friendship and experience certain local people and cultures that you might otherwise miss unless you're actually with someone from the area. So thank you for that. So folks, I am looking at my clock, and we have been enjoying this conversation for just over an hour now. To my panel, I want to just thank you all so much for your time and your enthusiasm and your excellent contributions to this discussion. It certainly reminded me of the absolute wonderful experience I had when I traveled, and I'm certainly looking forward to doing it again, and hopefully it'll be sooner rather than later. So to all of you who joined us today, a huge thank you as well for your time. We hope that you thought it was informative and useful, and that you too now are a little bit better updated and informed around South Korea as a destination, and something that you can present not only to your leisure travelers, but also to all of you out there with corporate travelers. The idea of conferences and incentives, I think, is a very, very strong message as well. So there's a broad scope. I think there's lots of cultural similarities and overlaps. There's a lot of information around pricing and products and being able to get things at a very affordable price. We know that market access is easy from a flying point of view, but also with regards to minimal cost and time efforts to get access to the market, and being able to do that all online. And there's no doubt that we have very, very good support, not just locally with regards to tour operators based here, but also with regards to inbound tour operators based across Korea, who will be able to provide you with all of the insights and support that you could possibly need to deliver an amazing experience for your clients. And Ruby, I know that you will continue from London to provide that support for the trade in South Africa as well. So my thanks to you. So to everybody that has joined us, thank you very much indeed, and take care. And
yes,
until next time, have a fantastic rest of your week. Bye-bye, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye.
Sorry. I just want to share all the contact detail each other. Then we can communicate in maybe 1 month. We can meet regularly, and then we can have a conversation how to take all South African to go to Korea.
Absolutely. What I'd suggest we do, Mr. Jen, is if you wouldn't mind, we'll contact you through